Peace, love, and respect. Peace, love, and respect. Black family, welcome to the Black Family Podcast. Oh, I'm so excited to be back. I know you guys probably was wondering. I had a lot of people hitting me up like, hey, Miss Farley, because everyone knows that I'm teaching now. So a lot of people was asking, when am I coming back with the podcast? I had a lot going on for this October. Unfortunately, I ended up losing a good friend who was also my coworker that I work with at the school. I'd known her for a short amount of time, but it was still very sad. So I spent a lot, with the family. Her mother does work at the school. Her mother is the principal. And so it was such a unfortunate event, something that just happened so sudden. So I end up taking on more responsibility, which was great, because with great leadership comes with greater responsibilities. Not saying it wasn't tiring, because, dealing with children, and I love children. In fact, I have their the Halloween colorings in the back. That's what my kids, they colored for me, and so I had them posted up and stuff. You can see they're very colorful, cute. Those are from the 5-year-olds and the 6-year-olds, and so that's what was happening for October. October was very busy. In fact, October started very spooky with her passing away. So, I was at funerals, wakes, and, I did that just to show my support. So, yes, that's what was happening. And now I am back with another video here on our lovely Black Family Podcast. And today, family, we are going to be talking about the male nature. Yes, we are going to be talking about the male nature. We're going to dip into the aggression of males. We're going to dip into the personalities of males. We're going to dip into their nature. We're going to dip into their mental health. We are going to be talking about it all this from a psychological standpoint, from a scientific standpoint. As you know, for those that have been watching me, forever, especially since last year, when I was talking about racial injustices and, talking about racism and stuff, you guys know that I don't ever come on here and just spew out things. I always make sure that I have research, the correct and proper research, to back up everything that I am explaining and to have the correct evidence, proof. And so I back it up with science. I back it up with anything that comes from an educational standpoint. So that is any university, any government site, because all those are peer reviewed, and organizations, because I know that they have done the extensive, proper, and correct research and studying. So, and I always give you guys the link in the description to all of the research. That way you can also do your own research. But the reason why we do the podcast is for those that may not have the time to do the research, but they want to know and have this wisdom and knowledge. But it is always great to conduct your own research, such as myself. That's what makes you a scholar. That's what makes you educated. That's what makes you wise. That's what makes a doctor and a lawyer, and a psychologist. That's what separates them, and that's why they're considered scholars and geniuses, because they actually do the work. It's always great to do the work, and that is something that I teach my kids, to do the work. When you do the work, you don't have to worry about going back. You don't have to worry about getting sidetracked or, blinded, because you do the work. And this is pretty much what this is about. It's about doing the work. It's about knowing. So we're going to jump into it, family. The first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to start with the evolutionary and biological foundation. All right. So I also have some notes on the side as well, as well with a research paper that I have conducted, the male psychology and behavior patterns, along with what I'm teaching about the male nature. So what I end up saying that the male nature is violence, consistent competition, and reproduction. That's what I put throughout my studying. And then we have an article from the University of Texas that says this. Number 1, evolutionary and biological foundations. Research on male psychology often begins with evolutionary and biological perspectives that explain male behavior in terms of survival and reproduction. Now, see, that's interesting that I put that based off of my observation of when I'm observing males, I can see. And I think I said in my last couple of videos that in my teaching, I am teaching majority of males. And although these are younger males, they don't have much of a spike in testosterone besides the little bit that they've gotten when they were probably like around 5 or 6. Their tendencies to show their aggression and tendencies to want to lash out, want to be loud, you know what I'm saying? I noticed that behavior is not so much in the female children that are there, but the male children, it is. So through my observation, as well as my observation, I used to take the bus before I got my car, and it was always the males lashing out. Now, these were older males who do have a spike in testosterone and who do lead with that testosterone behavior, right? And I would notice, I used to be like, I wonder why men are always competitive. Why are they always violent? Why are they always constantly, going at it? And what I learned, family, is that is the male nature. Once you understand that the male nature is violence, once you understand that the male nature is consistent competition, they're always going to be consistently in competition with you. I notice, like, even with my young male children, they're always consistently wanting to compete against me in racing and basketball and boxing, you know what I'm saying? And it's very exciting, now since, they're young. And I've been more on the masculine side where, I played a lot of sports, for those of you that know. So it's all fun and games every now and then. But when you are dealing with older males who don't just see a basketball game as just a basketball game, they really be trying to harm you. You know what I'm saying? So it's very wise to be mindful to the male's nature, right? When we say reproduction, most males are always going to have a biological need to reproduce, because the only way they can extend their lives is through the lives of women. They need your womb to extend their lives. All right? So once you understand that, women can be more, you could be more settled within who you are, because they have gotten you to think that you need to rush. You need to have a bunch of kids before you're 30. You need to be the one, hurrying up and doing this. But really, in all actuality, women don't need to live in scarcity. Males need to live in scarcity, because males have a due date on their life. See, women are born with all the eggs that they're going to have. Whereas males don't get sperm, because, they call it seeds, and it's incorrect. They don't have seeds, ladies and gentlemen. All right, family, they do not have seeds. If they had seeds, they will be able to dig a hole and put their spermicides in there, and that's how the babies will be made. That is not how children are made. Children come from a reproduction source. There is a cycle that has to go down, and that has to happen. They have spermicides. And remind you, most males don't get spermicides until they're either around from 13 to 17. Some are late bloomers. Some don't get it until 17, 18. Okay? So at the end of the day, women are already born with eggs. So you don't have to live in scarcity the way males have to. A lot of males have EDs and prostate cancer. And women are starting to get fireworks cancers because of actually birthing male's children. And I think I broke that down in another video with boy moms. Due to microchimerisms, that Y chromosome stays within the mother. And what happens is, because of that is a degenerate source that is in your body, it causes a lot of health issues. So when you know the male nature and you pay attention to the behaviors of males, then you can say, you know what, I don't think I want to extend his life. But most women don't pay attention to the male nature, and this is why I am here teaching. All right, so let's get back into it. It says that their research indicates that males' ancestral environments who displayed dominance and competitive behavior were more likely to achieve reproductive success, right? So testosterone has been shown to influence behaviors such as competitiveness, dominance, and risk-taking. However, testosterone rose is not strictly casual for aggression. Rather, it often amplifies existing social motivations. At the University of California, Santa Barbara, found that upper body strength correlates with greater support for military and dominant behavior, suggesting physical and psychological linkage between strength and assertiveness. As you could tell, this has nothing to do with them being great fathers. This has nothing to do with them being loving fathers and being great men. In fact, it's interesting, as you see the study, we are going to debunk a lot of men talking about that they're supposed to be in the house with you. In all actuality, men don't want to be in the house with women. They were forced in the house with women because they want to control women's appearance and existence. Because they know if you truly chose where you want to be and what you want to do, most women wouldn't even choose men. And they know that. And because men live in scarcity, they need you right where they can get to you so they can over reproduce in your body. Their nature has nothing to do with them being great fathers. In fact, they are cunning hunters. They're not protectors. They're not leaders. They're not providers. Those are all traits of the woman. When you look at the animal kingdom, such as I've been saying, is they all follow the mother, the matriarch. And that's the reason why the animal kingdom runs the way it runs, because of the mother. But this society has gotten you to hate the mother and worship the father. Since they say what? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. But the interesting thing is, males do not birth children. Women don't come from males. Males come from women. So they have taken women's trinity and women's life to support their life. Which brings me to the next part. I wrote down, males are very dependent on women. Number 2 says masculinity, emotional regulation, and mental health. Masculinity norms, including independence, stoic, and emotional control, are major factors influencing male behavior. Once again, has nothing to do with them being great fathers, right? These social expectations can both guide and restrict men's psychological development. Fry of 2022, this is a study that found that men who strongly internalize traditional masculinity norms are less likely to seek therapy and more likely to experience untreated emotional distress. Untreated emotional distress. Men that practice traditional norms. And do you know why, family, that they become emotionally distressed? Because men are not supposed to be stuck and crammed in a house with women and children. They are supposed to be put out to the wild. They are supposed to be left hunting and fiending for themselves. But because they lied and said that they're supposed to be these father figures and they are supposed to be husbands, now you're trapped in the house with your predator. You're trapped in the house with a cunning hunter, and you don't know who they are. And they know that because women don't study men. Men study women. Women don't study men. And so now you're caught off guard. Untreated emotional distress because they're sitting in the house trying to play house with you, and it's driving them crazy. That's why he slapped you across the room. That's why he touching on the children. That's why he comes in drunk all the time. That's why he checking out your niece. That's why he touching your daughters. That's why you got black eyes. That's why you got bruises on your arms, wrists, and neck. You married a predator, trying to make him a father. He's nothing but a cunning hunter. He's no protector. How you gonna protect something and you need protecting from him? He's no provider. You pay majority of the bills. He's no leader. You gotta lead the house. And then another thing where they tricked your mind, family, is that how they gonna protect the house? They said, look, check this out. All it takes is a little bit of critical thinking skills. Just a little bit of critical thinking skills. Because if I ask you to do more, I know it's gonna hurt your head. But it just takes a little bit of critical thinking skills. If the man is supposed to go out and work, and women are supposed to be left at home with the children, and you're supposed to be doing all the work like cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children, paying the bills while he's gone, how is he protecting, leading, and providing for you? You never sat and thought about that, right? If he goes to work at 7 in the morning and he doesn't come back until 7 at night, what's that, about 9? About 9 to 10 hours, he's gone. So if he's gone for those amount of hours, who's protecting the house? You are, right, woman? Who's leading the house? You are, right? Who's providing for the home? You are, right? You're protecting, leading, and providing for the home while he's out in the wild. And in fact, he's supposed to be back home around 5. He took the extra 2 hours to be at the bar with the guys. That's how much they don't want to be in the house with you. But because women have low self-esteem, and you don't have any courage, and you're afraid to stand up for yourself and your children, you sitting up doing all the work while he out playing. That's what's happening. They done tricked you to let you stay in the let them stay in the house with you, and you doing all the work. I got women say, I leave my household. I say, I know. I do too. I don't got no man stressing me, and I don't got a bunch of his kids running around. And that's why they tell you should have chose better. Reason why they tell you should have chose better, because they know for a fact, ain't no better. A male is a male. A male is a male. And we're breaking down their natures today. Now, it says Harvard University research also highlights that social stigma around vulnerability contributes to men's reluctance to seek mental health care, leading to disproportionalized high rates of depression and suicide. Now that's interesting that They got you as women living like you need to hurry up and have their babies. And then they'll leave and run out, do what they want to do. And then they'll come on a podcast, like something like this, and then they'll talk bad about you. And then you got women trying to change their hair, change their looks, and you don't even know you're trying to do all of that for someone that is disintegrating. Majority of males are disintegrating right before your eyes, and you can't tell. This is nothing that you pushed on them. They lied and said that they're the protectors, leaders, and providers. They lied. They took your traits and said that that's what they're supposed to be doing. And if you really think about it, let's go from the 50s to the 60s. From the 50s to the 60s. That'll be about what? 10 years, right? Let's say about 10 years, a decade. Men were only leading for 10 to 20 years and they got tired. Women, you did it for 50 to 60 years. You didn't notice that, right? You've been doing it for 50 to 60 years and doing it. They only did it for 10 to 20 years and got tired. And they tell you you're fatiguing out. They are the ones that's part of the male's nature. They the ones who fatigue. That's why they have to be out in the wild, running around like a bunch of banjies. That's how they got to be, running around, hunting and stuff. And then they're lazy. They lay down out in the woods and do absolutely nothing. And they be doing each other and stuff. That's what they supposed to do. But you as women, you let the males in their nature trick you to being in the house with them, and then they end up beating you half to death. Took everything from you. Said you couldn't get a credit card. Said you couldn't do nothing. But you said that, oh, we need our men. No. Men need you, women. Let's continue to break it down. Brown's University School of Public Health similar found that restrictive gender norms correlate with poor mental health outcomes in men, emphasizing the need of redefine masculinity to include emotional literacy and vulnerability. Now, that's very interesting because men are the ones who said that they're supposed to be the aggressors. They're supposed to be the ones out front. They're the ones you're supposed to be sitting there being helpless while they be the ones to do everything. Oh, I'm the macho man. I'm the one that's supposed to do everything. I'm the one supposed to lead, protect, provide. I'm the one supposed to buy everything and take care of everything. And now they tired. They're tired, and then they trying to blame you. Oh, mental health, only women can have mental health. No. You're the one who push these toxic masculinity traits onto other men, and then when push comes to shove, because here comes the scarcity, what men do is they will trap themselves. And because they know they have testosterone and they are the stronger vessel, they are stronger due to testosterone in physical strength. When it comes to mental, emotional, and spiritual, psychological, and intellectual, women are stronger. Every male that ever came into my life family, when they looked at me, because I am a woman that I box, I swim and stuff like that, they've always wanted to physically challenge me. But I wouldn't let them do that. What I would do is I will mentally and emotionally challenge them with just little things. And what I found out is most men are not mentally, emotionally, psychologically capable. So you're living in a home with someone that is an unstable, cunning hunter. That's why he's slapping you up, sister. That's why you're getting beat up. Oh, we know men don't know how to relate their emotions. Why are you in the house with someone that don't know how to talk to you? Everything that men do, they had to emulate and imitate you as the woman. Everything that males are, they had to emulate and imitate you as the woman. They imitate you. If you ever watched the TV show Dexter, you would definitely understand what I'm talking about. Majority of males are imitating what they think women want. And because women want males' validation so bad, because it's been forced in your head through religion, this false religion, there are no male gods. Y'all running around in the name of Jesus. Y'all running around talking about he, and then, don't worry, I've done it. I was brought up in religion. I was raised both Muslim and Christian. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I studied the religion. It's male-centered. Most women worship a male-centered God because they want the male validation and perspective of males. Because that's how badly women don't study and don't understand men. Men go around manipulating and tricking women into getting into your house, around your children, eating up all your food, using up all your hot water, stressing you out. Heterosexual women scare me. And I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of no man. I'm not scared of no woman. But when I see those women, I be kind of weary. I be like, Being scared is not always a physical response. I would say it's more of a mental afraidness. Because women that will do anything for a man, and once they get beat up, they will come to you as a woman and mentally drain you. Majority of heterosexual women have tried to mentally drain me. And I have to be mentally capable and intellectually capable to outwit them. That way they won't mentally drain me. That's too much work. And the reason why they do that is because that man has stolen and taken everything. He has beat everything out of that woman. If you notice, most heterosexuals women are beat up. They sick. They got sicknesses. They got sicknesses that you never even heard of. I got cysticercosis disease, and I'd be like, what is that? Oh, it comes from bouncing on wee too much. Oh no, I don't want that. I don't want none of that. I never heard nothing like that. It's a rare disease, girl, please. I don't want none of that. Stuff that I ain't ever heard of. You know what I'm saying? And the work that I do, obviously I'm in childcare. So most of the time I am going to be around heterosexual women. I have no hate. They will never be that. I love women. But my thing is that I'm very weary of when it comes to them, because I'll be like, you could tell in their behaviors. Compared to when I've been around homosexual women, I didn't have to worry about all of that. You know what I'm saying? There's more of a freedom that comes with a woman that is with a woman. And no, I'm not trying to get you guys to be with women. I'm letting you know the difference of how when these males come in these women's life and they take everything from them, they will go into other women's life and try to mentally drain them. And I could tell, and I have learned the difference. So let's get into the next part when I talk about religion. Religion is the male nature. Religion has beat into women that women should be loving their man no matter what he does, no matter if he cheats, no matter if he steals, no matter if he kills through pedophilia ways, through violent nature, if he's beating you, if he's unaliving you, if he's doing anything wrong to you, you still should be sticking by your man. And this what leads to most women being unalive. Maybe some of you that follow me on Instagram or TikTok, my Instagram is Tina Farley Official, as well as my TikTok is Tina Farley Official, and I also have a backup, Tina. So for those that have been following me on all social medias, you know that I lost my sister. She would have been 33 if she was still living. She passed away July 17, 2022, and she was murdered. And she was set up by her boyfriend, who was in his 50s, and by some other guy, right? The thing, what I really paid attention, and this is why I do the work that I do, I paid attention to that she was in a situation and she was unafraid. She was really afraid. Sorry about that. She was afraid. She was really afraid to stand up to this man. She was really afraid to leave this man, because when women basically become cowards to men, they pretty much know what they're going to do with you next. And what they're going to do with you next is unalive you, because they understand your nature. And I broke down the female nature in the last video. Females will give up everything just to be with a man, because you are still operating in a male's centered religion. You still operate in the name of Jesus. You still operate in the name of Moses, and in the name of Muhammad, in the name of Hindi, and in the name of Buddha. These are all males. And the interesting thing is males had nothing to do with religion and spirituality. I already told you the highest form of intelligence is the woman's intuition. So if the woman's intuition is the highest form of intelligence, how does the pastor get all of this message? No God talks to him. This is the reason why every pastor needs to be married. That way he can suck the life out of his wife that he has there. He gets all of that knowledge, all of that intuition, all of that wisdom from his wife. She is the one who does all of the sermons for him. And if you notice, there's also other women that write his sermons for him as well. Because if you ever notice, when the congregation is not feeling that message, the woman that wrote the message, she used the "all right, pastor, in the name of Jesus," because she's the one who wrote it. Males are very dependent on women. And you got women think that's cute and not understand you are being played. Another reason why heterosexual women worry me, I don't want to say really afraid, because I'm not afraid of nothing or no one, but they worry me because they are the type that'll do everything for a man, and then they want a woman to come and do everything for them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They will do everything for a man, and then they want a woman to come and do everything for them. They will cook, clean, wash the dishes, put on speeches, sermons, all of this stuff for men. And then when they are around women, They want women to do everything for them. Hence, women subconsciously know that the woman is the leader, protector, and provider and will do more. You can have more of a partnership. But because women believe in this nuclear family fantasy, and I will be breaking down that in some other videos, but they believe in this nuclear family fantasy. There really is no such thing as a nuclear family. That's why it fell so bad. The nuclear family is one of the greatest mistakes of males, that they are trying their best to try to push it back onto women, and it's failing. It's failing miserably, horribly. Even the women that used to believe in it is like, so I'm going to get married, then I'm going to do all of the work, and then he's going to be the one that be good in the relationship. Like, men can still be skinny in the relationship. You're going to be the one taking care of all the kids. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be the one that's going to be overweight, out of shape, health issues. Because men, that's their nature, is to come and suck the life out of women. And women allow it because they believe that God said that I'm supposed to be with males. It's incorrect and it's false. Number 3, aggression and competition. Male aggression is often misunderstood as purely destructive. However, in evolutionary psychological context, it serves as a mechanism for establishing status and protecting resources. Now, what are resources? Women are resources. This is the reason why women don't understand that men want to control you, because you are a resource. That's why men want to control you, because you are a resource. This is part of their nature, is getting around you, learning who you are, and after they learn who you are, they're going to control you because they don't want you out of their sight. And this is why males have gotten among women through brutality and controlling all of the resources. All males. This is not one particular male. This is all males. When I break down the male nature, you got women talk about, oh, that's only this race and that's only that race. No, it's all males. All of them are violent. All of them are competitive. All of them have pedophilia ways. All of them have predatory ways. All of them are cunning hunters. If you're in the house with them, they didn't hunt you down. You were out minding your own business. And what happened? He came hunting you down. You wasn't thinking about him. He came hunting you down. You were 15, coming out of school. Here he is, 21, 22, hunting you down. You was 16, he was 19, you was minding your own business. Here he come hunting you down. I seen a post where a man said, oh, if you guys don't want us bothering you, you guys should leave us alone. But men do not leave women alone. Why? Because men live in scarcity. Men know if women actually got to choose, women will be choosing themselves. It's men that force women to be mothers, force you to take care of the household, force you to be doing all of this. Like I said, I got men that's trying to pressure me on some stuff, and I'm like, who are you? Get up out my face. Oh, you're selfish. You got them right. I'm not letting you in my house. Get up out of here, Buster. That's how a majority of you women need to start being. Who gives a goddamn about their feelings? They don't care about your feelings. They will sexually assault you and then taunt you. They'll touch your children. They'll harm your children. And then they got other males who will protect them in that predatory behavior. So that's interesting that you run around calling them protectors, leaders, and providers. But anytime a woman is battered, anytime a woman has been sexually assaulted, guess who's there to help her? Other women. Y'all better wake up to this male nature. Y'all better wake up to it. Aggressive expression can manifest in varied forms, from physical confrontation to competitive achievement. Competitive achievement. What's an achievement for a man? Most males' achievement is conquering women and making a whole bunch of children. That you even got silly women running around, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and that's it. That ain't no achievement. That is a social norm. Women think that's achievement. And women are learning every day that ain't no achievement. You let men run around, push their competitiveness onto you of what? Being a baby machine. And now you're tired. All these women running around, I need a break. The women at my work, I laugh and giggle. I love peace. I say, how you going to love peace and you got a husband and 12 children, along with grandchildren? And you're about to have more, because the same way you ain't got no discipline, you didn't touch your children. They don't have any discipline either. Women are putting their bodies at risk every single day. They're putting their health, they're putting their life at risk just to be a baby making machine for males who shouldn't even be here. Let's just be honest. Majority of these males shouldn't even be able to extend their life. A lot of these males are weak beta males. A lot of these males can't read. So what are you extending the life of a man that can't read? And like I said, if he can't read, he can't lead. Majority of males use only 5% of their brain. The average human uses 10 to 11. So he's below average. He got a kindergarten education and you talking about my man. Girl, please. Let's get to number 4. Male self-presentation and defensive lying. What is often described as the lies of males can be better understood through the psychological concept of ego defense mechanism. Men may use denial, minimization, or exaggeration to protect self-image or avoid vulnerability. Now, when I was studying this, I thought that was very interesting. The male is very interesting. Well, most of you women wouldn't know because you don't really study men. All you know is they got a woodpecker, you ready to have them peck on you, and you think you know the male nature. No, if you actually knew the male nature, you wouldn't want them pecking on you at all. You wouldn't be extending their life or nothing. It says that men will sit up there and lie just to protect their nature, protect and avoid. Men will sit up there and lie to you. I will never forget the time. That's what I say when you have to listen. See, the stuff that you need to listen to men about, you don't even listen at all. What you should be listening to is not letting them lead and protect and provide you, because you know more than the man. You have the highest form of intelligence, your woman's intuition. I've been able to lead myself. No criminal record. No getting into things. The things that I didn't heard women let men get them into, I said, that's a good thing I lead myself. Because I know where I want to be and I know where I want to go. The stuff that you should listen to men about is about their nature. I would never forget the time I was at the golf course. And I don't know if this was Serena Williams that said this, but I know it was a female athlete that said, when you're a woman athlete, every man is a coach. It was one of them that said, I'll find it later on. But it could have been me, to be honest. Okay, All right, I digress. But I was at the golf course, and this guy, he started talking to me and stuff, and how we end up, going in more into stuff. I said, "You look like Prince, just a taller version of Prince." I said, "You really do," and he really did. And he was like, "Prince is my favorite, artist, blah blah blah." So when we were talking, he ended up sharing something with me because I was telling him, I said, "Yeah, I got this guy, he likes me," and he said, "Well, why play the game?" I said, "What game?" I said, "Most males play games." He said, "That's true." He said, "I want to break something down to you." He said, "Tell me the things you like." I said, "Well, I like boxing." "Oh, I like boxing too. I used to box." What type of ice cream you like?" "I like strawberry ice cream." "Oh, really? My favorite is strawberry ice cream." What do you like to do in your off time?" "I like to read and listen to music." "What? I do that too." And then he was showing me what males do. That is their nature. Because they are cunning hunters and they're really supposed to be released into the wild, what they will do to get what they want, they will emulate and imitate women. Most women say, "Oh, well, we do most of the same things." And then when you get him in the house, he don't want to participate in nothing. He told you he good at dancing. Because you said, "Oh, when I was in school, I used to do cheerleading and I used to be doing my dances and stuff." And he told you, "Oh, yeah, me and my boys, we used to battle and X, Y, and Z." And then now when you get him in the house, he don't want to dance because he was never no dancer. He don't want to participate in nothing in the first place, he told you. Oh, he lied. Well, he manipulated you to protect his vulnerability because you never really asked him any questions. You didn't ask him any questions. Most women don't. How I know is when I go on dates with males and I ask them questions, they be like, "Oh, I never been asked what I want to do in the next 5 years. I never been asked what type of father will I be. I never been asked, am I going to be here long term or short term?" These are stuff you guys don't ask. You guys are trying to see if you can make babies with them. Anybody can do that. Animals do that. And animals got more sense to go based off of the matriarch. The female lion don't sit up trying to figure out what the male lion is doing. She's with her girls, she's with her babies. She ain't worried about him. The female lion don't have sicknesses and diseases the way the female human do. You got sicknesses and diseases. Why? Because you chasing after males. Because they took something from you. They took your innocence. 15 years old. 17 years old. 18, you walking around with babies and stuff. Because he told you, "Well, you want to hurry up and have a baby before 30, because once you get 30, When are women gonna ask, and what? That's why I want young girls. When you got a buster to come up to you, talk about "Oh, if you don't have a baby before 30, then what?" What's gonna happen? Ask them. "Oh, then you're not gonna be able to have no kids, so." "Oh, the Bible, what the Bible say? Multiply and be fruitful." So go to somebody else and multiply and be fruitful. Y'all gotta stop being scared. Don't let no man come and trick you, manipulate you, imitate you, get in the house with you, beat you, sexually assault your body, degrade you, and then now you run into women. This what he did. Okay, why you let him do that? You're an individual at the end of the day. The male's nature is violence, competitiveness, reproduction. They're gonna lie. We have scientific proof that they're gonna lie to protect their own image, to protect themselves from vulnerability, not you. The male's nature is also selfish. The male's nature is antisocial. The male's nature is predatory. That has nothing to do with what you want them to be. You want them to be loving fathers and a loving husband. So they will sit there and pretend and play house with you because you ain't got sense enough to see him for what he really is, a predator. Science. These are scientists. These are doctors. These are scholars that are breaking down the male nature. And I'm here to share it with you, Black family. So they're going to exaggerate to protect their self-image and avoid vulnerability. These strategies stem from fear of rejection, loss of respect, or perceived weakness. Patterns reinforced by social norms that equate masculinity with control. Such behaviors are not inherently deceitful but function as adaptive responses to social pressures. Over time, however, the patterns can inhibit authentic communication and emotional intimacy in relationships. Now, what's interesting is when they said that this is a pressure that comes from social norms. What are social norms? Well, social norms is you have a certain entity of certain states or governments that have said this is how the female should be and this is how the male should be. No, nothing else here on the earth goes by social norms. I have my students study the animal kingdom when we do science, because I want them to understand that everything that we pressure each other to do, nothing else on this earth does that same thing. You have fools that say, oh, well, the male, he'll go and aggressively just go. No. What you don't understand is every animal has a mating season. And you just see that female, she's unbothered because she already know at the end of the day, I don't got to see you no more. Y'all don't know how to do that as women. I have no problem with you wanting to make babies. And yes, I know I am a studier. I am an educator. I am a teacher. I've been studying biology since I was a kid. I know that male and female reproduce. That's part of biology. They teach you that in biology. I have no problem with you wanting to reproduce yourself as well as the woman. But you have to understand, get the baby and you need to be going. Quit playing house with men. You are playing house. He's not playing house. He's doing what he's wanting. He's going out there and he's cheating. He's slinging and he banging. And then he come in and he feeds your low self-esteem. Oh, babe, you know I got stuck in traffic and stuff. You know it was real traffic. See, look, I got stuck in traffic. You can call my boys up. His boys are going to take up for him. Because he don't abandon his boys just for a relationship, but you abandon your girls for a relationship. Playing house. That's what you do. And the male nature, they going to sit there and let you play house. He ain't got to too much hunt for nothing. So you going to feed him. He eat 3 to 4 meals a day. And he cheating. He don't pay for nothing. That's you. You let that happen. Being desperate. Number 5, the competitive and predatory drive. When I tell women that all men are predatory, have predatory behavior, you basically saying I need to check my man. I need to check my man to see if he's like that. Darling, You have kids by him. You're doing the work. He's out doing whatever he wants. You don't have to check for nothing. It's already right there in front of your face. Women are very, very silly beings. And that's why men, they get away with these behaviors. Because men know that you are protectors, leaders, and providers because you've been protecting them their whole entire lives. Males' whole existence is wrapped up in women protecting them, providing for them, and leading them. They know that. Look at all the black males. Go look at my video. Look at all the black males. So you're saying, Tina, you're saying that we're not protectors, leaders, and providers? Daquan, you know you're not. Charles, you know you're not. Robert, you know you're not. Black males know that they're not protectors, leaders, and providers because they've been protected and led and provided for by the black female their whole entire life. Their black grandmothers, their black mothers, their black aunts. I see it in the schools. We got a young boy, he acts up all the time and we can't do nothing because his black mother and his black aunts is going to come to his protection. And I said, all right, they can keep doing that. They know you are the protectors, leaders, and providers as women because you protect them all the time. You're protecting predators. Look what the studies show. Males' competitiveness, sometimes mischaracterized as a predator nature, can be interpreted as a drive for mastery, status, and success. Evolutionary psychologists identify this as a key reproductive and survival strategy. Now, they're saying that this is a reproductive and a survival strategy. Mischaracterize. It's not mischaracterized because you can see it. Because then look, this is why I love this. This from 1997 too. This, you know why I love getting these reports, because even in the midst of males be trying to protect males, even while telling on them, they still have to tell on them. Because even though in the same breath they said mischaracterized, then they say this is a key to reproductive and survival strategy. Now let me ask you a question, family. When you are in survival mode, what is that? It's predatory behavior. Most people that are in survival mode are irrational. Look at poor people. Poor people create the most children because they are irrational. They do not know how to rationalize. They don't critical think. They don't have any logical reasoning. This is the reason why males prey on poor women, because they know that you don't have the ability to rationalize. Males have already said that they can't stand women that are successful, women that are educated, because they cannot manipulate you. That is the male nature. Survival strategy. They said that Darwin was crazy. Excuse me. They said that Darwin was crazy when he said that humans are only here to reproduce. It's just survival. They said he was even crazier when he said that that's mainly what males want to do, because they'll never reach the level of consciousness. Then I just say that the highest form of intelligence is the woman's intuition, and that males depend on the woman's intuition. But then they'll try to trick your mind, say, we're supposed to be in your house so we can lead it. They're not trying to get in your house because they want to lead it. They want to get in the house so they can touch on your daughters. Point blank, period. You got a whole nation of children that have gotten out of control, and these males saying they need their fathers. So where are they fathers? Out doing what the males do in their male nature, hunting, always hunting for something or someone. Black women didn't know that. Black women couldn't understand why they have a warm, loving, cozy home, but their little nigglets love to be outside in the streets. Because if she would have known that, get rid of those males, push them out to the nature. That's what they want to do anyways. That's the male nature, wanting to be out in the wilderness. If I took every male from 5-year-old boys to 80-year-old men to 30-year-old men and shipped them to the wild, they will not want to come back home because they will be able to act out in their nature without you trying to tame them. Women try to tame the male nature. You cannot tame the male nature. How you going to tame something and you don't know about it? You cannot tame the male. You don't even know about the male. Excuse me. Family, you're just sleeping with them. You don't know nothing about them. You just sleeping with them. It says this. It says in modern context, the hunt has evolved from physical pursuit to symbolic ones, career, advancement, intellectual achievement, or social influence. This competitive orientation is neither inherently harmful nor beneficial. Its impact depends on emotional regulation, empathy, and ethical grounding. Most males don't even do this. Most males don't go for no career advancement and intellectual achievement because they got too many women who are protecting, leading, and providing for them. So since you're protecting, leading, and providing for them, why do they need to be, quote unquote, on the hunt? The only thing that males hunt for now these days is other women. And to tell you the truth, other men. Why you think we got so many DL men? They done got tired of you because they can come and conquer you anytime. Hello? They can come and conquer you anytime. The male nature is that they have to have something that their woodpecker is pecking on all the time. They can peck you anytime. Now they want another challenge because they are competitive beings. Number 6, modern masculinity and psychological adaptation. Contemporary scholarship recognizes that masculinity is not statistic, but culturally fluid. So this is influenced by a culture. That's why they call it cultural toxic masculinity. The Vanderbilt University Center for Men's Mental Health, this is a recent one from 2025, argues that redefining feelings rules for men, encouraging openness and emotional balance, can improve men's well-being and interpersonal relationships. Intersectional research from the University of Kentucky from 2004 further emphasizes that masculinity varies across race, culture, and sexuality. For example, gay black men experience compounded pressure from both racialized and heterosexual motives, masculinity ideals, impacting their mental health and identity development. Overall, their emerging view of health masculinity integrates strength, empathy, and self-awareness, aligning biological instincts with emotional intelligence and social cooperation. Now, I know that was a lot because that's the last of it. Of course, we go into a conclusion of male psychology and behavior are complex products of evolutionary pressures, hormonal systems, social cultural conditioning, While traditional masculinity has promoted resilience and leadership, it also constrains emotional expression and help-seeking behavior. So that's the last. I have some other notes that I want to get into, but I want to break down that last part. When they talk about gay men, and I know they specifically said gay black men, that was just from because black males are actually ostracized more than other males for being gay. Because there is such a scarcity for the black male to reproduce himself in women, other males being gay, it harms his imitation. You understand that, family? Because you have these men, majority of black males are gay. Majority of white males are gay. Majority of Hispanic males are gay. Majority of Arab males are gay. Majority of males in general are gay. But because they want to make sure in their male nature that they have the woman under control, you got gay men. Most pastors are gay. But because they want to control women's behavior, your presence, they want to control your existence, they don't even want to just be happy. Gay means happy. Homosexual means you like the same. Homogenesis mean alike. Heterogenesis mean opposite. Heterosexual means opposite. They didn't got you to be so much opposite you don't know what's alike. So at the end of the day, I'ma say it. For you males that want to be gay, be gay. Ain't nobody stopping you. Be gay. That's part of the male nature. Males were going to be more of homogenesis towards each other anyways because they have more in common. I don't know how many times I got to look women in the eyes and tell them that. Oh, but what about God? God ain't got nothing to do with neither one. God ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all always trying to blame God or bring God into this, but you got to understand, you have two eyes, you have a nose, you have a mouth, you have a tongue, you got 2 ears, you got a brain, you got 2 hands, you got 10 fingers, you got 2 legs, you breathe. Every day you wake up. And for you to think that you cannot choose your life, most heterosexuals hate homosexuals, not because you're 2 men and 2 women. It's because they're trying to figure out, why can't we have love like that? And the reason why they don't have love like that is because they are opposite. They lied to you. I already told you they lied to you and said opposites attract. No, this is why men in their nature, this is why they have to hunt you down. And the reason why they have to hunt you down, because at the end of the day, they trying to figure out what you like, because they learn that, oh shoot, I don't have the womb, so I can't reproduce myself. I got to go to the woman to do that. Majority of these males are gay. They do not want you, women, but you ain't got enough sense to see that. And you want to know what something's funny? I be on TikTok all the time. Now TikTok is exposing studs who really are in love with men. But you want to know what's funny about that? Men never have to sit up and tell, oh yeah, that man, he ain't really gay. He got a whole family on the side. Men don't never have to do that. If anything, men have to expose other men who are actually truly gay. Women, your mind is so warped with this nuclear family fantasy, is that you will give up your happiness with somebody that agrees with you and somebody that knows you just to go be in the house with a predator. These are my notes. Since the male has forced his way into women's life and her freedom, women will sit up here and choose to be in turmoil just to say that she got a man. Most females try to tame the male's nature. You cannot tame the male's nature. You don't even know the male, so how you gonna tame him? You can't tame nothing. He knows you more than you know him. But you cannot tame a wild animal. You cannot. That's why if he gonna cheat, he gonna cheat. You got women, I got him under control. No, you don't. He cheating on you every night. Get your behind up out of here. Women were forced into the house with men and held captive. Now women are purposely wanting to be held captive by men because you truly believe that that's what God wants you to do. You're silly. Where men degrade women and deprive her of her freedom, forced her to be his slave, cook, clean, and take care of the children. Now you have women trying to tell other women that that's the life that God wants you to live. That is not the life that God wants you to live, to be a slave. You are nobody's slave and you need to stop acting like it. Get up off of your back and start doing something better. Start doing some push-ups. Once you start running every day, once you start going swimming, detox your body. Stop being a slave woman. Get your behind up. The male's nature is to cheat. The male's nature is pedophilia. The male's nature is violence. The male's nature is to have women as sex slaves. Males are going to go out and sexually assault women and children. And guess what? They do it to other men because that is their nature. I just read to you what the studies show. Scientists and psychologists, medical doctors from universities, from the government. I just broke down what they've been saying from 1997 all the way to 2005. You can't challenge me on this because you don't study. They can't challenge me. Go through all of my comments. They can't even challenge me because they know it's true. Oh, you're bitter. So, the truth is bitter. That's why you ain't got no man. I don't want no man. Oh, you pushing lesbianism. No, I'm not pushing no lesbianness. I'm just saying what's the truth. And when I break this down to women, women would tell me the same thing that men beat into them, but how is that natural? Well, let's break down natural. How is it natural that a man is cheating on you every night and then now you got STDs? Now you got yeast infections. Now you smell like a garbage truck. You smell like 50-day-year-old fish. How's that natural? How is it natural that you have a whole bunch of kids and all of them don't know how to read? How is that natural? How is it natural that every time you turn around, you got to get surgery on your body because you let a man play with your body day in and day out? How is that natural that you got to get surgery on your neck? How is that natural that you got to get surgery on your behind? How is that natural that you got to get surgery every time you have a child? How is that natural? How is that natural that you sleeping with a man that likes sleeping with men? How is that natural? How is that natural that you keep having children by a man that don't want to be there? How is that natural? How is that natural that all your hair is falling out because you stressed out? How is that natural that your breath is halitosis because you so stressed out? You look old and you're only in your 20s. You're only in your 30s. And they'll talk about you. I don't want no old women. You see these women with all these kids, they look crazy. Because males are sucking the life out of you. How is that natural? Single women with no children or lesbian women, they said they're the most youthful women here. They're the most happiest women here. Single women with no children are the happiest women. You can definitely go look that up because it's studied. Because males live in scarcity, they have studied that. That's why men get nervous when you have women that are single, no kids. They get very nervous. Because if every other woman chose that, they're going extinct. Yeah, they're going to be pretty violent, but still going extinct. The male's nature is to be a cunning hunter, not a father, protector, provider, and leader. I done told you guys that numerous times. Too many times. Points on studying males. Women have become so silly for men. Men can let a woman know he's attracted to the children and that he wants younger women. And because she has low self-esteem, she will feed the male's appetite before protecting children. This is what desperate, low self-esteem, low degraded women will do. Men of all races have told women that they want younger women. I've had men sit up there and have conversations with me, and they would show me a picture of a woman that wants them. It's an older woman, a woman around his age, and he would say, well, I want a woman that's like 18. Well, you're in your 50s, and you have children that are 18 and in their 20s. How are you going to get with a woman that is younger than your children? This is the male nature. This is who they are. And because women are desperate, they are abandoning their duties of what they're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be protecting the children, woman, from him. But because you want woodpecker so bad, I didn't know. You knew. Because he sat up there and told you. But men ain't playing too many games today. I understand in the 90s that they had to do all of this extra movement. Or in the 50s, they had to do all this extra movement. Men could be standing up there. You see him on the street corner. He got poop in his drawers. His hairline is touching the back of his neck. But yet, you still be, if we go to church, okay. And how did that work out for you? It'll never work, because men are not going to let you come and tame their nature. They tamed you, and you did everything. That's why men say, I don't want a woman that's wild and get to pick her choices and make her own money. And this is the stuff that they're saying. They're not hiding this anymore. They're telling you what they want. They're telling you that they want younger women. They're telling you that they like little girls and little boys. But because you're so desperate for male validation, you will sit up there and usher this predator into your schools, into your homes, into your churches, into your children's spaces, because you want so badly for men to be this father figure. It's not going to happen. Okay? It's being exposed every single day. The male nature. He is an untamed wild animal. Males have studied women's weakness so thorough that men know they don't have to be anything, and women will still invite them in their homes around their children. Homosexuals, predators, child molesters, pedophiles, murderers, killers, thugs, gangbangers, drug dealers. That's the reason why drug dealers was hard to get and gangbangers, because they had enough sense to put this family portrait together, and women went for it. I went for the mobster because I thought he would protect me. Males don't have no self-control. It's a rare few of them that will try to control themselves. Excuse me. Most of them do not have any control. You want a 6'5" male, and you see how aggressive he is, and you sitting up there, what you gonna do? You're already afraid of everything. I'm not afraid of no man. I don't care how tall he is, how short he is. I don't care what race he is. He get knocked out. I'm going to take him down if he try to harm me. You not. Y'all sitting up there getting beat upside your head. All males have predatory behavior. I don't care what he does. Oh, he's nice and he helps me with this and he does. All males have predatory ways. I've been with him since I was 14. It doesn't matter. That should let you know right there. He was 23 and you was 14. He hunted you down at 16 and 17. That should let you know right there. He made sure that your life couldn't go nowhere else but around him. And you got women saying, I control my household. Well, you got to have some type of control because you've been played, my dear. You're the one that's stressed out. That man ain't crazy knowing that all the time you the one that's holding the kids. You the one that got to carry the kids. You the one that got to get surgery and C-sections and push them out. You the one that got to get cut. And then he going to be running around. So you the one who got to take care of him. You the one who got to cook and clean. On top of you got to go to work. Because you got some women, they want a man and they want a job. He ain't got no problem with that. Most males actually don't have a problem with that. Because they don't have to do anything. A lot of them just want to play pretend as the leader, protector, and provider, but they know damn well that that's not for them. And you'll sit there and let them play. I run my household, said the black women in my family. They all sick. Those men are not, though. They living a good life. Because men have studied women's mannerisms and behaviors, they know what to say to keep you from studying their predatory ways. They know what to say to keep you from studying their predatory ways. Oh, John, why you looking at Anna like that? Oh no, I'm not looking at her like that. I'm paying attention. I think she needs some longer shorts because it's a lot of guys out there, so I'm just trying to protect her. And so that's why I'm looking like, nah, this ain't right. And I was just about to come and tell you, oh, okay. Because I know. You catch them in the lie. I thought you said you was out with your boys. Oh, I was out with my boys, but this what happened. They know what to say. And you got women, I know when he's lying. Well, either you're a fool or he's a great liar. Because why is he still there? He cheated on me one time, but he said he'll never do it because now we go to church. Y'all remember that? With that lady? That man went to cheat and he said, God told me to not cheat him no more and for you to forgive me and X, Y, and Z. She should have slapped the dog mess, but women are so afraid to be alone, to have their own, to be mentally capable and do what they need to do. You got girls shutting their mind off because they want men to lead them. A vessel that is incapable of doing all of these things. But they studied you. So they know that you're a fool. I want to get into the stats of male sexual violence. The study shows that 20 to 50% of sexual abuse cases comes from relatives. and most are males. Hello, ladies? You're inviting predators because I see it all the time. I see it in my friend's household. I see it in other people's household. They trying to protect these males. And when they walk past women that know who they are, like, I wish I could be in a setting. Maybe one day I'll be at once the Black Family Podcast start to get more advanced and stuff like that, in which we will. We're going to plant that seed in the powerful mighty name of God. We're going to plant that seed to the Alpha Omega. But I wish you can see when I'm around predatory males, they don't want to be nowhere around me because they know that I know who they are because I'm observant. I'm observing their behavior. I'm watching them. Men that know that they are predatory and they're around a woman who knows, they try to stay clear away from me. Because other women be running around smiling, laughing, and giggling. But when I lock in, I know who's who. Because I'm a protector, provider, and leader for children. So when I'm there, I know, I see. And so I'm protecting these babies. I'm protecting these people. So I can see what males are predators. True predators. Because they all have predatory ways. But there are the ones that act in it and have done it. And most women be sitting up there trying to protect them. Not me. I'm going to expose them every chance I get. 1 in 5 women in the U.S. have experienced rape or attempted rape, about 20%. Over 98% of rape victims are female and their perpetrators are male. And it's so funny. I remember I was telling my friend's sister this. You know what she said? She said, about 90-something%. Well, that means I got to check to see if my man is that. I shut my mouth after that. Because you're set to get married to a man. But when a woman is talking, I'm talking about something completely different. I'm not even talking about your man, but I'm telling you what the statistics are showing. And then you say that. That means women know that there's something going on with their man. And because they want to play house so bad, and because they want these men to be father figures so bad, that they will completely ignore the red flags. Among male rape victims, 79% of the perpetrators are males. Now, isn't that interesting? That 98% of women that are raped, it comes from males, and then 79% of the males that are raped comes from males. This is their nature. Violence, sexual violence, pedophilia, touching on children, beating on women, always have to be gone and out. Some women don't understand that there's a lot of men that didn't want to be crammed in the house with you and those kids because they know they would have touched those kids. No, you should consider yourself blessed that he had enough sense to run. You got to give a little respect to that. You have to give a little respect for a man who knows that he is a predator and did not want to sit there and play house with you. Most black males knew that they were predators, so that's why they didn't sit and play house. They knew who they are. It was black women that didn't know who these males are. Now you know. Now you know. Now you know. So what's going to be your excuse? You can't say you don't know. It's too much information out there now. On TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. You got computers now. Everything's accessible. You got phones. They're very accessible. So you can't lie about this one this time. You're not in the 90s anymore. You're not, excuse me, you're not in the 80s anymore. You cannot lie anymore. It's early. I got a day off. Well, I got 2. So I woke up early to get this one out. So I may be a little hoarse, but that's okay. I'm getting my speech. I remember my aunt told me, she said, speak what you're going to speak, even if you get hoarse, even if you're trembling, even if you're crying, even get what you're going to say out. And so that's what I do. I'm coming with facts. I'm not just spewing up stuff or coming from a place of hate or all of that. I'm letting you know, family, the truth. When you better know, that's just like, let's put some sports to this, because I know, Black family, I know we love sports. If you do not know how to protect yourself, you will be exposed. Can you imagine if you have a particular team, let's say they're playing football. Let's say you have a team getting ready to go against another team, and one of the teams don't have no pads on, no helmet. What's going to happen? What the other team going to do? They're going to completely demolish that other team because they don't have no protective gear on. This is how women look when they line up against men. Men have, I already read to you that men know how to protect their self-image from women making fun of them. But women don't know how to protect their self-image from men making fun of them. Men know how to protect themselves. Women don't. And when men come across a woman that knows how to protect herself, he's so shocked. Like I said, I got men that be trying to get me to bend over backwards to come and help them. And I said, no. Well, because other women, I don't care about other women. I'm this woman. And I said, no. Forget you. Get up out of here, buster. A buster and a bum. Leave me alone. That's how you look, women, when you go up against men. They got protective gear on. You got nothing on. And then when they want to tackle you, they're able to tackle you down. And then now you go into other women. He hit me on my head. Well, girl, you should have ducked. You'll be mad if a woman tell you, well, next time bob and weave. No man is supposed to be. Let me tell you something. Their nature, they are going to hit you. I know women that are in marriages as of today, they getting slapped up and beat up, and they say, they know, oh, that's just a man. Okay. Well, if you want to be with men, you have to be prepared to be cheated on, beat up, raped every day, messed up, and doing all the work. Equal a slave. If you want to be with men, you got to understand that you are going to be a slave woman. You're going to be heavy. You're going to be heavy. Your eyes going to be bagging. Your hair going to be falling out. You going to gain weight, my dear. Because you ain't got sense enough to let it go. And when I say let it go, I ain't just talking about the man. You won't let go the nuclear family fantasy. And so now you're going to be sick. The World Health Organization reported 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced physical and sexual violence, most often by intimate male partners. So this is very interesting that majority of women that are in relationships or around people that they know, that's who you end up getting sexually assaulted by. We got the stats. Studies across multiple countries show that 90 to 99% of rapes are committed by men. So there you go. She know who I'm talking about. I was right. Studies across multiple countries show that 90% to 99% of rapes are committed by men. In most cases, rapes is not committed by strangers. About 51% of female victims reported that the perpetrator was an intimate partner. Yep. 41% report that it was an acquaintance. Only 8% of the cases involve a stranger. So that means all of these women that are running around talking about, Miss Farley, not all men. Well, we got a 51 and we got a 41 and we got an 8%. 51% are males that women are married to. 41% are males that women are around. And then 8% are males that just happen to see her and then attack her. So what are you talking about? Not all males, but statistics is showing you all males. 90 to 99%. 90 to 99%. That is a high percentage. Very high percentage. So that means there's only 1% of a male that possibly won't harm you. Girl, please. Men have studied women. Women don't study men. Because throughout the decades, men were and had to be the initiators of relationships and chasing women. Men studied women of what they want, what they like to wear, the places they like to go, the things they like to hear, what they want for dinner, and what they want as gifts. Cunning hunter. That is the male's nature. He studied everything about you. And yet you don't know nothing about him. You don't know what he wants. Oh, I got him a watch. Okay. He didn't want it. You can tell by his face. But he wears it every day. Yeah. So he can keep pecking on you. Stop being silly. Most women don't know what men want. And if they found out what men really want, women will be so crushed, hurt, and disgusted, because that means they can't play house with men that want children. Hello? That's what men really want. They want your children. Point blank, period. They want your 12-year-olds and your 11-year-olds and your 13-year-olds and your 14-year-olds and your 15 and 16-year-olds, your 17 and 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds. They say it all the time on podcasts. Stop being silly. If I seen it, I know damn sure you seen it. And I don't want to sleep with none of them. But you do. And since you want to so bad, he'll see that you got children that you claim that you protect, but you're bringing him in there. So that's how you know. Most men want children. That's why there's an obsession with younger girls. We getting ready to wrap it up, family. We just talked about the male's nature. What is the male's nature? Violence, competitiveness, being competitive, reproduction, studying women of what you want, what you like to eat, what you like to do. Men will purposely put themselves around you. That's why they're not going to leave you alone, because they know how to play you, because they study you day in and day out. That's their nature. They are cunning hunters. And who they're hunting? They're hunting the female. So I'm going to leave you with something, family, is that you need to be more observant as women. You need to stop thinking that every man is a father figure. You need to stop thinking that every man is a husband. Even for men that are husbands and fathers, those are just titles that were made up by the government. You need to keep your eyes open and you need to listen twice. When a man is sitting up there telling you that, oh, his last girl, or when they had kids, oh, she was about 16, 17, you need to be, oh, okay. You need to be attentive. You need to start focusing. And then you need to detox your body from males. That is the only way women are going to be on a higher level and be better. I want to say peace, love, joy, happiness. You have been tuned into the Black Family Podcast. Peace.